Hello, it's Nigel Seeley here from Premier Sports Plays and another weekend of Premier League action on the soccer. Last couple of weeks have been very, very successful if you've been following these video clips, and hopefully this weekend we'll be doing the same. We start off this evening, Friday night, we have a game, Friday night football over in the UK, and it's a big one for Leicester. Southampton are the host. They host Leicester side. Leicester side looking to get into the Champions League and playing rather well at the moment. Southampton have completely gone at the game. They've lost 12 of their last 15 matches. Nothing to play for this season. They're the one team that have already got their Speedos on and their swimming trunks and their flip-flops looking for the end of season. Leicester, on the other hand, have everything to play for in the Champions League, but the prices reflect that. Last season, the two played out a 9-0 win for Leicester. One thing I'm confident on is that it won't be 9-0 again, but I do expect goals. If you look at Leicester's matches, the last 5 of the last 6 have been over 2.5 goals, and the last 5 Southampton games have also cashed on over 2.5 goals. So in an end-of-season game, we could have an entertaining one. So I'm going for over 2.5 goals to start the weekend off tonight in Leicester against Southampton. Moving on to Saturday, Crystal Palace in South East London, they host champions-elect Manchester City. Could be a good time to face Manchester City with a massive second leg in the Champions League against Paris Saint-Germain to come next week. The trouble is, whoever Man City put out their second team, third team, they're going to be far too strong for Crystal Palace. But would you bet Manchester City at -$3? I certainly wouldn't. Man City won the reverse fixture 4-0 in the season. I do expect them to win, but at -$3, not a price I would get. I would probably have a small lean towards both teams to score. Yes, under Roy Hodgson, Palace have been a little bit tepid in their approach, but in recent weeks towards the end of the season, they've been a bit more expansive, and they scored in a recent defeat with Zaha scoring, and I think against Chelsea, and I think they're more than capable of scoring against Manchester City. So I'd probably go for both teams to score, but only a small lean on that one. Brighton against Leeds is a lunchtime kickoff on Saturday, and I don't fancy goals here at all. If you look at Brighton's last 3 matches, only 1 goal has been scored. Leeds has played a 0-0 draw against Manchester United, and I think this is going to be a low-scoring one. I think under 2.5 goals is a decent bet, and on the match itself, I'm going to go for a draw. The 0-0 detector could be out here. A point should give Brighton safety for the Premier League for next season. A 5:30 game, another game where I don't expect goals. Chelsea against Fulham. Under Thomas Tuchel, 19 of 22 matches in charge have been under 2.5 goals. And Fulham are the second lowest goal scorers in the Premier League behind Sheffield United. Last 6 fixtures, and times this fixture's been played, under 2.5 goals is cashed. And at -120, I think under 2.5 goals in Chelsea v Fulham in a West London derby is arguably the best bet in the Premier League this weekend. The final game on Saturday is Everton against Aston Villa. Aston Villa have hit a rocky slope at the moment, going downhill faster than Franz Klammer on the old ski slopes. But I think that they're worth proposing against an Everton side who have got all their players back. You can see a little bit of change in form. They were a bit fortuitous to beat to Arsenal 1-0, but Everton, I think, will win at home. Their home form has been a bit sketchy, but against an Aston Villa side that have really, really dropped of their levels in recent weeks, and with nothing at all to play for, I'm going to go for Everton to win that one. So Saturday, I would say my best bet on the card is Chelsea Fulham under 2.5 goals. We have 3 games on Sunday. Newcastle hosts Arsenal, and this is a tricky one for the Gunners. They have a massive match on Thursday night in the second leg of the Europa League semi-final against Villarreal, a game that they looked dead and buried until they scored a goal to really give it everything to play for in the Emirates at 2-1 from the first leg. Newcastle have really changed their fortunes in recent weeks. They've suddenly got survival, and they've taken the shackles off and they're playing some decent football. They're scoring goals, and I think they've got a good chance against an Arsenal side who aren't interested in the Premier League. I've got a slight lean for Newcastle to win the game at +275, but I think the best way to bet them is +0.5, where you get the draw as well. And I think at even money, that is a decent bet to get the draw and Newcastle. I also think that game could produce goals. The big game, probably by name rather than anything in the Premier League this week, is Manchester United against Liverpool, because it really doesn't do anything to me. Manchester United are going to finish second in the league, but again, their priority is the Europa League, but they have a commanding 6-2 first leg win from the game against Rome before they head off to the Italian capital next week. I still think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will rest a few players and give some squad members a chance. Liverpool need the win because they need to force Champions League football. But the way they're playing at the moment, they're not creating any chances. They're having shots and not scoring goals. Their goal XG to the chances they create is very, very minimal. And there's problems at Liverpool. My lean would be for a draw and probably a low-scoring draw. 0-0 early in this season when these two played. And I think the big games between the big clubs this season in the Premier League have been under 2.5 goals. So under 2.5 goals and a 0-0, maybe a small bet, probably the draw. Tottenham play Sheffield United in what to me looks a tricky match. Would I bet Tottenham at -$4 against Sheffield United? Absolutely no chance whatsoever. If any side could blow up at short prices, it's Tottenham. They were abysmal. They showed no desire to win the EFL Cup. I know they were playing Manchester City, but absolutely offered nothing in that game. Sheffield United played probably their best game of the season last time out with a 1-0 win against Brighton. The pressure is off. They know they're going to be relegated. They're looking ahead to next season, and I think they'll do well in the Championship. The manager, Paul Heckingbottom, is in charge. He wants the job on a full-time basis, so the motivation potentially could be with Sheffield United. I'm not going to make a case with Sheffield United to win this, but at +1.5 at even money, as long as Tottenham don't win by 2 goals, I think that's a decent bet. I wouldn't trust Tottenham at all. On Monday, 2 final games of the weekend, a West Midlands derby. West Brom plays Wolves. The match is huge for West Brom. It means absolutely nothing to Wolves. West Brom have been decent in recent weeks. They were heartbrokenly let 3 points slip with a last gasp equaliser against Aston Villa in their last game. But I think they can make amends for that and beat a Wolves side who were absolutely dreadful in their last performance, losing 4-0 at home to Burnley. There's rumours that their manager's linked with the Tottenham job. There is some turmoil at the club. Players want to leave. And I think it's not a happy ship at the moment at Wolves. And I think there's going to be some big changes in the summer. And I think West Brom is a good time to get them. Sam Allardyce will have them absolutely pumped up for this game. And I think West Brom at 2-1 is a decent price to win this match. The final game on the slate this weekend is Burnley against West Ham at Turf Moor. Burnley is always a very, very tough place to go. They make it very, very difficult. They're coming on the back of a 4-0 win against Wolves, their best performance of the season, and they survived again in the Premier League. Sean Dyche does a fantastic job in Lancashire. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. And one man who does get the credit he deserves this season is West Ham manager David Moyes, who's been announced as the Premier League manager of the season. The trouble is that the bubble may be bursting for the Hammers at the moment. They're decimated by injuries. Their performance has dropped, and I think this is a tough arse to go to Burnley. I don't think Burnley will necessarily win it, but I don't think they'll get beat. And I like Burnley +0.5 goal here at -140. I think West Ham have had a long season and they come into the crucial part without some key players and have injuries and suspensions. So I think Burnley will probably get something on this game. So just a recap of the fixtures tonight. Southampton against Leicester. The best bet for me is over 2.5 goals. On Saturday, I'm going for under 2.5 goals in Chelsea Fulham, which is my best bet of the Premier League. On Saturday, I'm going to take Newcastle +0.5 goal against Arsenal. And on Monday, I'm going to go for West Brom to beat Wolves. Be lucky, keep cashing those tickets. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do @Seeley_Nigel or go to my website, www.premiersportsplays.com. Good luck, and I'll speak to you again next week.